During this process, you were looking for school, and you have no money. You don't even have the money.
I didn't have the money. I went to the German embassy.
And you went to the embassy.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Eagles Impact, everybody. My name is Eddie Murphy. The gentleman on my right here is one of the most amazing, incredible, and intellectual young guy I've never seen. He's an assistant professor in Southern Denmark University and a software engineer, which he studied in the same university. This guy, he has an incredible story, which I believe it could be an inspiration to somebody out there or to you that is watching us right now. His name is Fisayo Caleb, Shango Boy.
Thank you very much.
How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm good.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
Good.
It's so incredible and so inspiring. And one of the reasons I actually said that I'm gonna sit with you so that we can actually hear from you is because the first time I listening to your story, I see how hope could actually emerge from the middle of hopelessness. How did it happen?
Well, I have a group of friends that also either in the process of have achieved the same thing. So, and I think also it's I must give credit to God, of course, and also to some of my friends, because sometimes when you have good friends around you that aims to do similar things or are doing similar things, becomes a little bit not difficult anymore, because you can see somebody that you're close to probably doing something similar. So I've always wanted to study abroad, and always wanted to achieve something in my field.
Yeah.
And I won't say I've achieved anything in my field, but I'm just saying I wanted to at least have a hang of what is going on in my field.
Yeah.
And I thought the best place and the best avenue to do that was to study abroad. And
Yeah.
it's ideal that your parents sponsor you to throughout your bachelor studies, but I know if my parents had the means, they would have been able to also do that.
Sponsor international.
Yeah, sponsor international. But at some point, when you've come of age, especially, there is a level of dependence that you don't want to have on your parents, and you know they really tried, because in Nigeria, or maybe mostly most African countries, it is the responsibility of the parents to actually pay your tuition without any assistance from the government, to cater for you from birth to at least you are up to a particular age. So it's a cultural thing that parents sponsor you through your university. They pay for your feeding, for your tuition, and every means of welfare. So, and I really thank my parents for having that sense of responsibility, because there are parents that don't have that sense of responsibility.
Exactly.
They really, as soon as I was done with my bachelor's, I knew it was up to me if I wanted to further my education, that I believe in God for a means to do that. And I must say, it was not something I could foresee or I could see with any means or any
how
it's going to happen. You know.
Exactly. This is we really need to talk about this. You have a dream to further your education, to go for a PhD, right? So you couldn't actually. There was no way you could actually rely that your parent is going to do this for you after they have sponsored you from throughout your degree. So then let's talk about you have this dream, but there was no hope on how you could actually sponsor yourself or from anywhere that this could. How are we here today?
Yes, that's a very interesting story, which I usually don't share. And I find the testimonial very emotional and also a critical point in my life where I got to discover that sometimes if you believe that something could happen when there is no physical manifestation or physical evidence that it could happen, that it's not possible. You believe and you start working towards what you believe. A lot of times things just happen. I believe that in spite of the fact that there was no physical manifestation or any kind of support I could get either from friends or myself, or I mean if I had to save up to to engage in this endeavor, it would have taken it would have been possible. But I believed, and I started to work towards it. I started to look for universities.
At first, even without hope from anywhere.
No, without any means of hope for anywhere. I started to apply to look for universities first. Sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night, and the thing that I wanted to do was just to look at universities where I could get some form of education without it not being too expensive, and where I could further my knowledge. And I must say that one of the things that prompted this whole chain of reaction is the fact that you have to. I was hungry for more. I could have been very comfortable with my job in Nigeria. But I just wanted something more. I wanted to have a bit of an impact, at least in the field I'm working in. At least try to be able to interact with the people that have impact. As a result of so that prompted the whole chain of reaction, and I started to look for the possible universities I could attend, and I found one actually. I found one, and I was like, okay, this. So in my course of search, also I'd applied for universities, went for several interviews with some of those universities. I don't know if you're familiar. A lot of universities from the UK usually come to Nigeria to advertise, and so I attended a lot of that. But they were not looking, even though I got admission with some of those universities, they were not the possible candidate for me to attend. And one of the reasons was because it was either too expensive, and it doesn't also fit with what I was trying to achieve. I think one of the things that I can say with regards to that is I am not entirely a fan of a one-year masters, which a lot of UK universities offer. I wanted to really learn, and because the main focus for me was to be able to have impact. Having admission is a different thing. Having the resources
it was another ballgame.
to go for the studies and have subsistence over the period of time you'll be in Germany was another thing. But I knew that if I want to discuss with anybody about the fact that I want to pursue further education, I think it will be more concrete discussion if I told the person that, you see, I've gotten an admission, I've gone through all the requirements for the whole admission process, I'd certified all my documents. The only thing that is remaining is just money.
How was your inner conversation like that?
Very good. Okay, this is where I would like to draw the attention to more my spiritual journey in that regard. Also, I prayed also. I prayed a lot because I prayed for direction, that God would direct my ways, and I prayed about the subject of this endeavor, traveling, and I said, God, I want you to help me. And at some point I had this inner confidence that it's going to happen. You know, I would say it is faith, but it's an inner confidence.
Yeah.
That it is going to happen,
regardless of there wasn't hope anywhere, or no foresight of promises and anything.
No. There was no foresight of whether there's going to be
some miracle from somewhere.
No. But I had this confidence that something was going to happen. I prayed and I just had this confidence, and the confidence was so much that I also had the scriptures to back it, a part of the Bible to back it, which as a result of when I think my exercise of prayer Sunday, it's in Hebrews, part of the Hebrews that says that if you do not falter, if you keep believing that what He has promised is able to fulfill. So that was the scriptures that was also given to me, you know, just as a result of my praying.
Yeah.
You know, it just came to me.
Okay.
And it's just a voice that said, and this is a part of the scriptures that I had not even read before. That's inner confidence, and also the backing of the scriptures. I was more hopeful. I don't want to say I was more confident
that it's going to work.
Yeah, I was more hopeful that this thing could actually work, you know, because I had this inner confidence in me that something is going to happen. And I told anybody that wanted to hear that I wasn't going to finish my studies, that I'm going somewhere else. And even though there was nothing in sight to prove that could actually be.
I think it was a little bit insane for you to be searching for university, going for interviews, and you have no money.
Yeah, it's insane. It's actually very insane. It's insane and tired. It is. It is one of the. People that are close to you, that probably knows you, they're kind of like, what is wrong with this guy? Yeah. There's no money anywhere, so so where is he going to find find the money, which is the last piece of the puzzle, you know? In fact, I went to I will tell you how insane it was actually. I went to the German embassy.
Yeah.
Because for you to study in Germany, you needed to have some form of a closed account that the government has control over, in the sense that they allow you to withdraw just a specific amount of money every month.
Yeah.
And you cannot go above that.
Yeah.
So, and for you to open that account, you actually need to go to the German embassy to take the form and submit it to that German embassy.
Yeah. And
I did not have any dime, and I went to the German embassy.
And that's a confidence.
I don't know. honestly, looking back at the series of events that happened then, it still marvels me, because I got an admission in May. Of course, I couldn't secure the finance in May, so I told the university that I will resume in October. And I didn't still have money. Even at the time I told them that I was going to resume in October. Yeah. I didn't have any money to did all those things without any sight of any financial help.
So you went to the office of the Foreign Affairs?
Yes.
To satisfy all your documents without any hope of where sponsorship is gonna come from?
No.
Honestly, I really want somebody to learn from this. You know, most of the time we see our physical limitations and we refuse to set goals for ourselves. We refuse to dream. Just probably because we look at around us, there is no hope of how it can happen. Then we decide to settle for the legs and stick to whatever we have, to the possibility we can see. You know, well, I just asked you the question, isn't it? What was the confidence when you were trying to make all these portions without any hope from anywhere? You know, I think people should learn to understand. You shouldn't look at your own physical limitation to set goals for yourself, or to make desires, or to dream. Because I believe if you were to look around you, you will not be who you are today. Come on, man, bro. At the age of 30, you're an assistant professor in the university. one of the most reputable university in Denmark here. And it wasn't an easy journey. It's very easy now for somebody to look at you at the university. Oh, that young guy, that young professor. Honestly, this is simply incredible. I really want somebody to learn from this. I want you to tell us how did the magic happen?
I was telling everybody that I wanted to hear. I want to travel. I don't have money. I want to travel. Everybody that wanted to hear, that wanted to give me 2 minutes.
So now you're using the principle of asking.
Yes, I was. I wrote letters to apply for scholarships.
Yeah.
I wrote letters to the managers of the university. I did all sorts of things, just in the form of asking, applying for scholarship, writing letters. I remember I wrote a letter to the management of the university I was working for, Joseph University, and they were fortunate to the registrar. I also went to meet the registrar, who I have a fatherly relationship with, the registrar of the university. So I went to him and I told him, I would love to travel and I don't have the means. And after I've written a formal letter. So one day, I think it was after a Sunday service, and I have a friend, which is a very senior colleague of mine at the university.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go to his house after the Sunday service at the university to familiarize and talk. And this particular Sunday, something just said, okay, let's go to the place. And so I left my room and I left my room and I went to that particular part of the university where staffs were living. So he usually drives himself.
Yeah.
Even though he's registrar, then at least as a then he used to drive himself. I think he had a driver also, but this day he was driving himself, and he just stopped. And he said, "So Fisayo, you said you wanted to travel. So what's stopping you?" I said, "You know what is stopping me." I said, "So you know what is stopping me? I don't have the finance to pursue this." And he said, "Oh, really? Come to my office on Monday. That's tomorrow." But when he said I should come to his office, I knew
something was going to happen.
I knew something was going to happen, and this is something that never happened
In the history of the university.
No, that's not. They never did that before for anyone I knew in the university. And he called me to his office and said, this is what will happen. I will speak to the board of directors of the university, and they're going to provide some finance for you to be able to pursue your master's degree.
Wow.
In that particular
Wow. Wow. Tell me how you feel when that news came up.
It was just a lot of emotions. Because when you've done everything, like you went through the process. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional.
Yeah.
But when you've gone through the process of everything possible that could, for instance, that you needed. Like you went through the process without even any physical evidence that this could actually happen, but you, in spite of that, you still went through all the process, and the only thing that was remaining was the big obstacle that could either come, but with every physical evidence, it is most likely not going to come. But you went through every other thing just to wait for that particular thing. I think at that time when it happened, I was so emotional. Of course, I thanked him so much, but I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it was. I was just. I didn't know. It was so emotional for me that wow. And I think But one thing I want to point out is when you go through that experience, an experience like that, where in spite of everything, that things still happened, there's a level of that experience is so unique that when things are not happening, you can reflect back that okay, this happened, sometimes ago, and I did every other thing, but remaining one thing,
Yeah.
and that thing showed up eventually.
Honestly.
So
Wow.
that's it was really emotional for me, and of course I called my parents. They were so happy.
Yeah.
They asked for the number of the registrar. They called him, and they, and of course here we are today. Yeah.
Honestly, bro, this is really where I really want people to really get something out from his story. I just wanted to tell somebody right now. You just, I can see now you're very emotional now. It's like you're at the peak of emotion right now. I just want to say something to somebody, because there is somebody out there who have a strong something he so much believe on, that he really want to achieve, or that he really want to pursue. Perhaps based on the circumstances surrounding whoever the person is right now, might feel like, okay, maybe I don't have to continue. Maybe I don't have to pursue this anymore, because I can see any way this thing can happen. Do you have a message for for anybody who is in that state you were then? What do you have to tell such a person?
I just these are the few things I think the key highlights of things I could say if I'm qualified to even advise people. But one of the things I would say is, first of all, if you know definitely that this is what you're about to do strikes a particular purpose in your life, that's a purpose that you something you want to do, like you're drawn to do. For instance, you want to achieve a business idea, or you want to pursue an academic pursuit, a career, or you want to, and things looks very bleak, and you're definitely sure that this is for a good cause. It's for a good cause. I want to do this. I want to do this because I want to be a better person in this particular field, or I'm establishing this business because I see a need and I want to meet that need. I just want to say from my story, even though it looks like sometimes people might say it's coincidence, but I don't see it ever as coincidence. And there are many stories that have also come up after this one, which I know that were no coincidence, which were also similar. But I want you to know that if you just try as much as possible to set your mind at it, do the work. Relating to that purpose. Go through the entire process.
Play your own role.
Play your role. Play the role that is required of you. Because there's something I must say, that as at the time that I got that assistance, I knew everything I needed to go there. I knew to the 10 cents I needed to go to. I knew what I needed from the university. I knew how to go about it, and so I did all the work that is needed. I certified the document. I went to the German embassy twice to pick up the form, to submit the form. This is not visa application. I'm saying this is just opening an account. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to have money to put into it. I did all forms.
So you did everything to your own possibility.
Yes, you need to do the work. You need to be diligent to do the work that is required of you to achieve that goal. And one way or the other, when all the wind has blown, the rain has rained, the storm has come, when everything settles, that one thing that is required,
Yeah.
somehow will show up.
Honestly speaking, this is honestly, I don't know. I'm also getting a bit emotional here. Let's talk about this. Before this miracle happened, before the school decided to sponsor you, how close was the resumption date?
It was
To the university.
very good question. We had so it was I think I had about a month.
About a month.
About a month and no. It took 3 weeks for me to get my German visa. So about 2 months or so. So this is the process, because once you have opened the account, you need to find a way to post the money.
Yeah.
And as part of the process for posting the money, you also needed to get a proof that the money is there.
Yeah, it's there.
Apply for visa.
Yeah.
So that process was roughly in 2 months.
But one thing I would like us to get out from this is this, during that dark moments where you couldn't actually see help or hope coming from anywhere, what makes you to keep your searchlight in that university particularly?
Exactly. Very good question. Actually, when I saw that university, something just clicked in me.
That's what you want is in here.
Yeah. That's the university. Probably this is another story. I actually did not finish from the university because of some other stories, but I just knew that this was the university for me to go to. So there are some things that during the period where there was no money, it looked like going through the perspective, everything, the requirements and stuff. Something just clicked to me that this is the university I want to go to. It satisfied my small requirements of being a university that I could spend 2 years in and really learn learn what I really wanted to focus on, and then I just picked that university that this is the one I want to pursue.
And also something else to tell you, the other university back to Nigeria is where the help is going to come from.
Actually, I didn't know if the help was going to come from the university in Nigeria. I did not know. It was I did not know where the help was going to come from.
Yeah.
I did not even know that somebody would come in the university. That I was just telling anybody that wanted to listen.
Yeah.
If my dad's friend came to our house then, and I was fortunate to be in the house at the same time, I would probably mention it. That, I want to travel to, and I have done this, done that, but yeah, this was the only thing that is remaining. I was telling everybody that needed to hear, anybody that was important to hear that needed to hear.
You were just asking.
I was just asking. I was just telling anybody that I felt could be of help, and somehow the help came. Somehow the help came.
Wow.
So I will, some of the guests for instance I invited to that's for instance I met even as a result of the university that I felt could also care to listen. I told them. So,
but actually there are so many people out there today who actually have a strong desire towards something. Most of them never pursue it just because the resources is not seen anywhere. Some just decide, okay, I think we should just let this dream go because there is no father to sponsor this. There is no friends, no family, no organization. There is no way to get a loan. Nigeria is not it's not like some part of the Western world where you can get student loan to do some certain things. I think it's actually very discouraging. When you have a dream and you don't have a means to make this dream come true. It's something that really I learned so much from your story, bro. And looking at the kind of faith you exercise to make this whole dream come true. Honestly, to me it looks insane. And I don't even know how to describe the level of faith you actually exercise to make this dream come true.
One thing I've learned is the desire.
Yeah.
The desire to do that thing is really important.
Honestly, I really want to hear that.
You know, it's the desire for you to achieve what you want to achieve.
I really want to hear
You know?
that.
Yeah, it's not just as simple as saying, I did it, you can do it.
No,
It is you following that desire.
because we are different.
Yeah, we are so different. We are different. Our situations are different. Our upbringing is different. You know, a lot of us are going through a lot of things internally within ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, that we also need to overcome within ourselves. You know, but as far as you just keep trying. You know, keep trying. Keep your focus on that thing you want to achieve.
Exactly.
You know, keep your focus on what you want to achieve, and lo and behold, even if you take all the detours, whether you started a business and you discover that, oh, I did not do this, and so the business failed, it's just a detour. I believe that if it's something you know it is worthwhile and it's something you really want to pursue, if you find any form of detour, it shouldn't mean you should give up. You should just try as much as possible to continue in that pursuit.
Yeah, in that process.
And before you know it, I'm still in the pursuit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the pursuit. I have not arrived at all.
Seriously.
I have not even gotten anywhere in my life.
Where do you want to go for that? You have heard.
You have a
Fantastic. But bro, let's quickly direct this to like a kind of advice or guideline to someone who aspire. For instance, somebody who have the desire to study abroad, just like you were back then. What are the things you would advise them to put into consideration?
Yes. So there are quite a lot of things that I would say that you should, if you are still in the country you are, it is very, very good to understand, because you know, one of the things I feel a lot of the youths, I'm also a youth, but a lot of the youths in our country, they sometimes we believe there is a bit of a shortcut to something. We believe that we need to pay an agent to get a visa for us. We believe we need to, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
The first thing is understanding all the intricacies of where you want to go. You need to get information, get knowledge about, be informed about, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to achieve. This is my immediate goal, what I want to achieve. What do I need to achieve this goal? You know, dig deep. Understand what are the rules. You know, and how can I begin to achieve these few things? So, you know, how do I begin to achieve what it requires to do this? What it requires to do that? What it requires to do this? A lot of us don't want to really bend our heads down to actually do the work, you know, required. I mean, irrespective of whatever obstacles you have, there's something that cannot be taken away from you. It's the ability to seek information.
Yeah.
Seek the information about those things that you really want to achieve in your life, and begin to take, whether it's a little step, a planned little or big steps towards those things. And before you know it, the very huge mountain that you think is so huge, once you've achieved quite a lot of things, you've gone really far, you discover that, okay, even if I don't have the powers to surmount this particular big elephant in the room, before you know it, something could just happen that could help you to surmount that mountain.
So you actually encourage that people should seek for information regarding
whatever thing you want to do.
Whatever they want to do,
Yes.
either like studying abroad or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
So
Yes.
people should go for the tips and tricks just to find out what
Yes.
it entails.
What it entails. What do you need to do to
It's not just like you're looking up to a godfather or
No.
agent somewhere to
No.
do everything
No.
for you.
No. There's also, I believe, there's also the aspect of. I think this is also cliche to say that in the sense that I think there's something in everybody that, for instance, if I need an help from you, for instance, when I was moving, you helped me to move here. Now imagine when you were coming to help me to move some of my things from my apartment, I had not actually put some of my things in the box. That would be kind of disappointing. So it's if we look at it from that very, very simple example, I've done what I needed to do personally to make
their system easy
for somebody, an outside help or an helper to
collaborate
with me. You get what I'm saying? So, and it's the same thing. We need to be prepared we need to prepare at any time when the help we need actually shows up. For instance, if this could just also be related to the story I just shared, that if, for instance, I had not done all the certification, which takes months, open the bank account, it takes a few weeks before you get it verified from the German government and stuff, I could probably have not made the admission for that October. Even if the finance was there. But I made sure every other thing was
put in place.
Yeah. And so it enabled the help I needed, that I really needed, that help. It had enabled somebody that could do it more efficiently or effectively. So
honestly, it actually reminded me of a quote that said that it is better to prepare for an opportunity and never have it than to have an opportunity and not be prepared
for it. Exactly. It's always good to where you're going, to focus, and try as much as possible to prepare yourself to do everything that's required of yourself without any external assistance to achieve those goals. And before you know it, something will happen, and something could happen. That's good.
So when you expect the rain to fall, then put your ball outside.
Yes, exactly. But make sure you bought the ball.
Honestly, that's really incredible. I really gained so much from your story. The level of faith you exercise, the consistencies in pursuit, and having a desire, and in spite of the odds and hopelessness, you never give up. You stick to your pursuit, and even if there was no hope coming from anywhere, but you have that level, you were able to create that level of confidence in you, believing like regardless of how it look, I believe something is going to show up, even without knowing where it's going to show up from, but you just believe something is going to show up for you, and eventually everything actually happens just the way you wanted it. I'm really honestly, it's really wowed me. One thing I learned from a story, if you have a dream, you have a desire to pursue in life, never give up. Never give up. Do what you should do. Whatever you require, you should do. Do what you should do. Don't wait till the help come before you start hurrying. Where is this? Regardless of the hopelessness, play your role and let's leave the rest to however it's gonna come from. God bless you, and I look forward to see you again on our next video. Have a nice day, and God bless you all.